Hello class, here we are again in quiz briefing part 2. Okay, let's look at week 3, primary and secondary sources of information. For this one, I will review the topic a bit with you, yeah? Okay, so we did about what is primary research. Do you remember? Primary research is your own research. It's about gathering data through interview, survey, observation, or experiment. Okay, and then you learn about secondary research. Do you remember what is secondary research? It is actually other people's research. Okay, other people get the data for you. So you just read them. Okay, and this type of secondary information, you can get it from the web or you can get from traditional sources. Do you remember traditional sources? Encyclopedia, journals, okay, hard copy journals, yeah, all the things you can find in the physical library. Okay, and then you learn about guidelines when researching on the internet. Okay, in week 3, you also learn about the primary research methods. So what are the methods? Do you still remember? Okay, let me revise it a bit with you. You have unsolicited inquiry. What else? You have interview. Okay, what else? You have surveys. And then you have observations. And the last one, for engineering people, what do? You have experiment. Let me revise with you a bit the difference between interview and survey. Okay, for interview, it's considered as qualitative research and survey is a quantitative research. What is the meaning of this? Okay, look at the function. So interview, you collect the data from individuals, whereas survey, you collect data from a group of people. So you're talking about quantity, a group of people. Quantity, you can turn it into percentage. But interview is more about quality of the data. So you look at the theme, you don't look at the percentage. Okay, so you can guess now what qualitative data means, quantitative research means, yeah? If you still don't understand, please go back to my lecture notes, okay, the one that you learned in week 3 on this, okay? And then the advantage of interview is that you get to explore your participants' thoughts, feelings, behaviors and beliefs. Okay, whereas survey, it only captures simple information in numerical or short text form. So you can't really get rich data from it. The disadvantage of interview is that it requires time and commitment from not only from the respondent but also for the researcher because they need to analyze the data. Okay, and then there is also bias of opinion because when you meet the person face to face, that person might give you their own personal idea about it. And as for survey, the participant might withdraw from the survey. So last minute, they will not complete the answer. They will not complete the survey at all. Yeah, so there's a possibility for that. Now let's look at the difference between observation and experiment. So observation is considered as qualitative research. Experiment is considered as quantitative research. Okay, so the function of observation is to watch people or events. Okay, you look at these subjects in their natural setting. That means in the real life. Okay, so you can also uh, have like overt observation. That means the subject know they are being observed. Or you can do a covert observation. Covert means the subjects, they do not know that they are being watched. There are reasons for this too. Okay? And then for the experiment, it's actually a scientific approach using two sets of variables. Okay? The first variable is normally a set of constant or the control group. You use it to measure the differences between the second variable. So this can be comparative, compared. So there you got the 4 types of primary research methods. Okay, in the first part I mentioned, that will be covered for section 1 of your quiz. Okay, and now I'm explaining for the section 2 of your quiz, the one with the problematic survey questions. Okay, problematic survey questions. Okay, for this one, there's questionnaire design. Okay, open-ended question, and these open-ended questions, they're also about, there are many types. Okay, there are many types, and there are advantage and disadvantages to it. Yeah, and then you have close-ended question. Okay, close-ended question also the same. You have the types, disadvantage and advantages of it. Yeah, and then you have problematic questions to be avoided in the questionnaire. So this one is in section 2 of your quiz. Okay, so in this section, they ask you to identify the problematic question and then provide the revised question in the box below. So you write what's the problem with it, yeah, and then you write the correct one. And then for your quiz in section 3, yeah, you have word formation. So here you have like a closed text, yeah, closed text, and then they'll give you some blanks and the root word, and then you have to use prefix or suffixes to form words to complete the paragraph. Okay, so this is quite simple actually, but it's very tricky. It's very tricky. So be careful. You need to read the passage carefully and consider the use of prefixes and suffixes. And finally, the last one is about parallelism. You have learned about the parallelism, the 7 types of it. Okay, you have positive words, verb phrases, adverbial phrases, clauses, singularity and plurality, correlative expression, and mixed forms. So all these 7 were taught today. Yeah, if you don't know what I'm talking about, please go back to it because this will be tested in your quiz on week 7. This is an example of the type of question that might appear in your exam. So you need to rewrite and make all the following sentences parallel. So in our team meetings, we like to discuss, plan and executing our strategies. Something is not right there. Okay, it's not parallel. So how do you make it right? If you have watched my lecture before this, you would know how to make this right. Okay, look at the second one. The seminar provided opportunities not only for networking and partnership, but also, you see, not only but also is under clause. Okay, under clause. So not only but also, something is missing there. Training sessions were conducted. What do you think is the correct answer? So I would like to remind you that the quiz will be done face to face during class time. The duration is only for 90 minutes. Okay, 1 hour 30 minutes. So you need to complete the quiz within the time allocated. I've also put the quiz practices in the e-learning. Please download from the e-learning and do the practice. You need to do this and check your answer. Okay? If you have a problem, like you don't understand why am I getting wrong, why is the answer like that, you can always ask me in the next class. The next class is going to be face to face. So I really hope that you try all the quiz sets, and you need to do it because I'm going to discuss it next week in class with you. I might call your name. Okay, I might call your name, so please do it. Okay, and I hope by this way you'll get good marks for your quiz. Okay, I have to warn you, a lot of people fail quiz last semester actually. Yeah, I don't think they tried the practice. That's the problem with it. If they do the practice, there shouldn't be any problem. Okay, so practice makes perfect. Okay, so that is all for today. All the best.